Today we are headed to Denali National Park for 3 days.
We had to tear down in the rain.
Yeah, it's rained here. Well, the first 2 days we prayed for rain because the smoke was so bad.
Yeah.
And then I think it's rained every day except for one since. But there's a lot to do in Fairbanks, and
even in the rain.
Even in the rain. And we did everything except for go to the China Hot Springs and the Aurora Ice House, and that's only because we both got sick. And we've been sick the last, what, 3 days? So we haven't done anything for 3 days. Which was fine because Denali just opened yesterday. So we're off to Denali, and that's what this video is going to be about.
It's called.
We're on Parks Road, or Highway. It's Route 3 from Fairbanks to Anchorage to go to Denali, and we've been going uphill. And now we ran into the fog. There's some pretty mountains ahead of us.
A lot of pretty flowers on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's fireweed. It's pretty through here. We're running along the side of the track, and if you can see, there's like a bulldozer thing. There's 2 of them. Looks like they're cleaning the track because the fire here closed down the Alaskan Railroad. So they got 2 work vehicles going down. That's a railroad track. And I'm starting to see the damage of the fire. There is signs telling us wildfire ahead, don't report it. It's 96% contained now. This is Thursday. They opened the park for the very first time on Wednesday, which was yesterday, the 10th of July. Today's the 11th of July. The Riley fire is what it's called, and the Riley Campground is still closed, but it's closed because that's where they're staging all the firefighters. The entrance is up here. There's the Denali Wilderness Lodge.
Look around or anything?
We're going to come back after we drop the trailer off. Well, we were wrong about that. You can't just go in and drop the trailer off if you're staying at the campground that we stay at. Once you get in there, you're there for the 3 days that you rented the campsite for. So what we did was we went in, checked in, and then came back out and got our t-shirts. This is like one of the best places to get t-shirts around here because they're really cheap. And the last time we were here, they were really good quality. This time, they weren't as cheap, and they seem to still be pretty good t-shirts. Maybe not the same ones that they were in 2013, but they're still, decent gifts. This is also the last time to get any food or supplies that you need before you go into the campground if you're staying at the campground we stayed at. Now, if you're staying at Raleigh, I believe that's different. But where we stayed, once you go in, you're there. So, if you want something to eat or if you need some special type of groceries or something, you better make sure you have them before you go in. We'll discuss this more in detail. Denali Park Road, a half mile. So that's where the, is it called Dole sheep?
Yep.
I don't think we've seen any the last time we were here.
Continue on Park Road for 1.5 miles.
Denali National Park and Preserve. Campground registration. Now they kick all campground reservations. We must go in here. Campground reservations to the right. Also the RV dump stations to the right.
Take the next right onto Mercantile Circle. In 800 feet, turn left to stay on Mercantile Circle.
cleaned up the underbrush.
Yep. They were doing fire prevention.
Yes, they were. Yeah, this is the dump.
There's the dump, but we don't need the dump. We'll show you where the dump is.
Passing through.
Yeah. If you were to stay at the Riley campground, it's right here to the right.
Nice cleaned up anyway.
Yeah, it's currently closed due to that's where they're staging the firefighters. But you still have to come here to register no matter which campground you're staying in. We're staying in the one I can't pronounce. What's it called?
I don't know.
It gives with a T.
Teklanika.
I need to get my book stamped too.
You do so fire that I kind of doubt we can use it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. This is the Mercantile building. This is where you go and register to camp, and you can get some gifts, but also camping supplies and food here, like some groceries and things like that. It is not the visitor center. This is going to sound crazy, but you're allowed to have a fire in the campground that we're staying at, even though there was just a huge forest fire. Teklanika Campground is where we're staying. So you come here, you register. Once you go into Teklanika, you can't come back out until you're ready to leave the campground. So we have 3 nights, and that is the minimum to stay there. Once you go in, you can't leave until that 3rd night. Now you can, what I mean by you can't leave is you can't pull your truck back out, even though you're not hooked up to the trailer. Come back out. So they give you this card. You give it to the ranger at mile 15. That's your one-time entrance with the trailer in your RV. And when you leave, you give it up and you can't go back in. Until we're getting higher up, there's less trees. Guess I'll know what it has to show it.
hey,
Look at that, you're all prepared.
Yep.
Let me just get you logged in here. Do you need some tape to put that up on your window there?
yeah, if we need to.
Thank you, Ash. We'll get you a little bit. Put it with the numbers facing outwards.
Yeah.
That way anyone coming down isn't going to wonder if you're supposed to be in there or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then log into
We're
this
not right there in
thing.
front.
Let me see, is it just the 2 of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Just 2.
Did you get to talk to someone about all the rules and everything out there? I'll just go through my list quickly then.
Go ahead.
Make sure that they told you everything. Told you 1 trip in, 1 trip out, no backseats and forthseats.
Right.
Did you get a Tech Pass bus ticket, which allows you to go and travel around? You don't have to have that, but it's your way to go out and have fun while you're there. So
put
good.
this on the lot.
Nice to see that. You got supplies for 3 days, 3
Yep.
nights.
Yeah.
Excellent. Did they talk about driving on the road?
Just go
And
slow.
Go slow. If you see buses in front of you
Oh,
with,
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
blinkers on,
Yeah.
it means don't pass them. You don't know what's in front of them.
Right.
But if they turn their right-hand blinker on,
Right.
that's
Yeah, they
permission to
explained
pass.
all
and then
that.
you do the same thing. Bear-proof storage
Yeah.
is basically hard-sided containers
Right.
or the bear lockers. Never leave food out, even
Right.
for a minute to go to the bathroom, nothing. If a bear gets food, it's the end of the campground or it's the end of the bear, one or the other.
Right, I understand.
And neither one of those are good. Do you have any dogs or pets or
No.
anything like that with you? Okay. You got your headlights on for the whole time?
Yeah.
And you know what a sheep gap is. If you come to a sign on the road that looks like a clock with a red wedge taken out of it,
Yeah.
that red wedge is the first 10 minutes of the hour. And when you come to that sign, if you're within the first 10 minutes of the hour, then you need to stop and wait for those 10 minutes to end.
Mean
So if you
from-
came at 2:05
Yeah,
and you hit the sign, you'd have to wait till 2:10,
210. Okay.
and then you can leave. If you came there at 2:01, you have to wait till 2:10.
Okay.
Okay. You understand
If you
that?
came at 2:10, you keep driving through. That leaves every hour at least 10 minutes where there are no cars driving on the road for animals to feel
Sure.
free to cross.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that's what we call the sheep gap. There's one sign between here and Tech, so you see that on your way.
Oh, okay.
And I think you'll get through before that.
Okay.
But on your way out or whatever, just be aware of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem. No, I
And,
didn't know what it was. They didn't tell us about that.
Yeah. They seem to forget that one. So that's okay. That's because that's not their campground. That's
right.
That's other stuff. That's a new thing this year. So,
Yeah. Okay.
as of recently. Have a wonderful time out there.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
You understood the sheep gap thing?
Yeah, from 12 o'clock 01 to 12:10, so 0 to 10, those every 10 minutes, every hour, you can't drive. You stop
Okay.
at that time. That lets traffic, at least it's only 10 minutes. It must help. I don't know. I can't believe
It's
it.
something new they tried. But yeah, it's called the sheep, so I would assume it's something to do with the sheep more than any other animal. This whole national park was funded to save the Dall sheep. To protect them. I don't know, save them, but it was definitely to protect them here in Alaska. Oh, I don't like when we pass the water trucks. It keeps the dust down, but boy does it make your vehicle muddy. Something we should get used to on this trip. Canada was great for doing it on their roads, their dirt roads. This is really only the second time we've had it happen in Alaska. Now you just gotta find a spot you want to camp in.
In 400 feet, turn left.
It's the host. Grizzlies in camp. Grizzly bears who camp this campground. Stay blah 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 blah. No camping there. We're done.
I don't care. Oh my. I don't think we'll fit in that one.
No. We would fit in that one. Probably.
I think we fit in this one.
That's pretty good.
Let's see what these are up here, if there's anybody in. Is there anybody in this one? 46. I can get the camper back there.
Your own phone.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I can get in. One of these two.
Look at this one, see what it looks like first.
Don't go too far. No, the other one's better. I said there was a sign that said Grizzly Bear Activity and Campground. So we're off the road. Here's our site. It was actually level. We didn't even have to level the camper.
I mean, it's like a half-inch off, but
Yeah. And then there's a fire pit. The picnic tables in the trees, which I wouldn't use because the mosquitoes are so bad. I would say that the picnic table is normally out here, but somebody else had to move it so that their RV would fit. But yeah, pretty cool.
this is our first morning at Denali National Park, and we've got the 840 bus to take us, basically takes you to the front and back. Takes about 4.5 hours. Round trip. So we're heading out to the bus stop right now. This is a sign as you enter the campground. Grizzlies that do come into the campground here.
We're here at the bus stop waiting for the East something. East Fork bus. It's got a nice protected as far as from like rain bus stop. It is really windy today. It's supposed to be the nicest day that we're supposed to have like for a whole week. There's 3 dull sheeps up in the thing, but we can't see them yet.
Horns will grow throughout the spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah, they were a little too far away to get a picture.
Where they stop growing in the winter.
There's a lot of them.
Ring will develop and determine the age of the sheep by causing the dark color of the rings in their horns. They are somewhat migratory here. A lot of the sheep come down out of these mountains.
We're at the top of the knoll and there's some grizzlies up there sleeping.
Yes, yeah.
Back it up.
Yeah. Back it up. Coming through the road. It's going to be right behind us.
That was awesome.
He wants to show Chang his ass again.
He wants to show us off. Don't run away. Gabriel, shut up. Yeah, Gabriel, shut up. Backing up.
Caribou. It's a caribou. Not a bear. No. If you look at the bottom of your binoculars, you'll see the bear.
There's a caribou. Tim and I are back from the bus tour that we took here at Denali. It's the East Fork bus tour. It's the green bus line. And you just go right outside the campsite like you've seen on the video and get on the bus. The negative thing about it is that let's do some pros and negatives of this campground in total. So let's do the pros first.
Okay.
It is a nice campground. It's primitive, but it's a nice campground. It's quiet. There's grizzlies sightings, I guess, not too far from here. It does have a big sign say grizzlies are in the campground. We did see some scat from a big animal.
But it looks
today.
like moose to me.
It looks like moose, but we also seen another pile that was bigger than a moose. So the campground itself, very nice. Like the campground, like being back in the wilderness. The positive things of the bus tour was we've seen a grizzly with 2 of its cubs. Now it is far off and you can't see it with the little camera. You had to use a zoom lens camera or binoculars, but you were able to see a grizzly with its 2 cubs. We've seen a big bull moose, which I guess moose are very rare to see here.
At this time
of the year.
Near the road.
Near the road.
Right.
So, and it was right against the road, and then it crossed the road and crossed behind the bus. And the buses work together. They tell the drivers, they stop, they talk, they share the information as to where they seen the last animal. We ended up seeing a bunch of dull sheep. Now, they're just little specks unless you have binoculars or a telephone lens, and we didn't get any good pictures. It's hard to get pictures through the bus window. And then we end up seeing caribou. Now, I guess the trifecta, or the 5 main animals that people want to see when they come here are, and I'm going to put them in the following order as to what's the easiest. The caribou are usually the easiest. The number 2 is the dull sheep, then the grizzly bears, then the moose, and then the wolf. So we end up seeing 4 of the 5 main animals.
Yeah, no wolf.
And there was no wolves. So as far as the tour went, the bus driver was fantastic. They gave us a lot of information. They explained about the road, the rock slide where the buses can't go past, and all that. So you need to be aware that once you get to a certain point, the buses can't go past that area. And that's really where a lot of the grizzlies and the moose and caribou are. They're on that other side. However, you still do get to see animals on this side. So I'm going to do a little bit of the negatives now. The negative of the campground is that once you get in here, you can't leave until the day that you go to leave.
You can't drive your own vehicle, even to where the buses go.
Right.
So you're basically
stuck
right
here.
You're stuck here.
The only way you're going to leave the campground is to walk, or walk out and get on one of the tour buses that you had to pay for to go through half the loop. So that brings me to, that really is the only negative thing about this campground, is once you're here, you can't drive in and out. There's just a one-time in, and then the one-time out's when you leave.
But we're also like the third stop on this bus stop?
I was going to do that. So now is the bus, the tour bus negatives. We're more than third on the stop. So the bus starts clear back at the visitor center, and it loops all the way through the park road to where you come to the gravel road, and then it stops at another campground, one or two campgrounds, and then it gets to ours. Then we do the tour, and then they loop and go all the way back to the bus garage. Well, when you're here, you can only do the part that goes from our campground up to the top where the bridge is at, or where the landslide is, back to the campground. You don't get to go back to the visitor center. If you do, you basically have to buy another pass to be able to get back, and you're taking a chance that by the time you get there, there are no passes available.
Right.
So that's a negative thing. The other negative thing is the buses are crowded. So if you don't like crowded places, it's probably not for you. You don't necessarily get to sit with the person that you went with.
Especially being here because
they've already stopped
at
the visitor center. They basically filled up at the visitor center. Then they stopped at another one or two campgrounds before they get to this campground. So when Jim and I first got on the bus, we couldn't sit together. But then somebody got off and we were able to switch seats and we were able to sit together. So, that can be a negative thing. So anyways, just take it with a grain of salt. It was worth it. We did get to see another grizzly with its cubs looking through the camera.
We wouldn't have seen them if we were just driving because they were so far up,
Right. And the same with the Dall sheep. We got to see a lot of Dall sheep. But you can't see them with your, you need to have binoculars or a telephoto lens, like I said.
Yeah.
So it was definitely worth it. I'm glad that we came and we stayed here. They do make you do a minimum of 3 nights. And I don't know that we would necessarily want to be here 3 nights. I guess if we were hiking and stuff. But tomorrow it's supposed to rain. Today it's really windy. And it's about 55 out. So it's nice hiking weather. But the dust is blowing really bad. Well, we hope you enjoyed our video of Denali. And if you did, please give us a like. And if you haven't already and you wish to do so, hit that subscribe button. And if you do hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. That's a notification bell that lets you know when a new video is coming out. So our next stop, I think, is before we get to Palmer. We're going to head to Palmer, stay at a KOA in Palmer, and visit the Anchorage area for almost 2 weeks. We're going to be going all around the place, taking airline flights. It's going to be exciting. So thanks again. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching.